Alright, so for this matchup, we have True Draco Zoo versus Pure Zoo. We have Oscar from Team Dank Deals and Jesse Swayner. These two are very strong players, both of them with their Nats invites, so we will be seeing these players at Nationals. And Oscar rolls a solid D20 critical hit, and he will be going first from that critical hit. Okay, so Jesse is playing the Pure Zoo on the Black Spellgrounds, and Oscar on the Banana Imperium Duelist. He will be playing the True Draco Zoo. Oh, looking at Oscar's hand doesn't look too good. Opening a handful of basically pure, he's opening pure True Draco at this point. Not the ideal hand. Since your engine is actually rather small, drawing all of this is basically like running a 9-monster engine and drawing 5 monsters at this point. Fairly unlucky. He can try to establish a small board. He has 2 masterpieces in hand, a bunch of tribute summon monsters, not most ideal. But he does have a Draconic Diagram to change up his hand a little. He can try to get himself a slight, small little board. He's going to pop off one of the masterpieces as it is pretty much useless at this point. Extra copies aren't going to be very useful to him. And he's going to fetch himself, I believe he's going to aim to fetch himself a trap as he's rearranged it to the bottom of the deck. That is True King Return. Oh man, what a brutal, rocky start with that critical hit die roll giving him the first turn. Jesse, on the other hand, is taking it easy. Pure Zoo, of course, now does have Zoodiac Chakinine. It uses a Chakram and is a K9. It is the Dog Zoodiac. So he did add that True King Revival, the one that he did put to the bottom, and now he's added to the hand. And he's going to play the Heritage. I believe he's going to try to use Heritage to do a Tribute Summon. Remember to use up all your continuous spells and traps for their Tribute Summon effects before you try to go into your regular Tribute Summon, because your regular Tribute Summon is the only one that can actually perform a proper set. Ooh, careful of shuffling your hand. So he's going to set one and then he's going to perform a Tribute Summon. The True King Return. The main reason probably why he tributed the True King Return is because, well, he can probably fetch a new copy. Unfortunately, he did miss a draw right here. The Heritage would have warranted him 1 draw since 1 trap was sent to the graveyard, and he did pass turn to Jesse. One thing to note about Dynamite, Ignis Heat, and Majesty's Maiden is that these monsters will help you gain advantage as long as your opponent activates any card or effect. They can chain on top as a quick effect, and as Maiden, you will be able to add a True King Draco monster. I believe that if you use Dynamite, you can activate or add a trap straight from the deck. If you have no space, you can add it to hand, of course, and Ignis Heat will be able to activate a spell directly from the deck or add it to hand if you have no space. The other one, Dreus the Third, he will prevent targeting and destruction. Okay, so here we go. We get Jesse summoning out a Thoroughblade, and he's activating the effect. And Oscar will be chaining his Dynamite Knight, or Dynamite Knuckle, into getting that True King Return. Alright, that's not too bad. Oh, what a draw. That draw is an instant fusion. Oh, and as Oscar tries to resolve the True King's Return, he gets Cosmic Cyclone, costing Jesse 1,000 life points. I think it's absolutely worth it. You're not letting him put out a 2950 monster on board, and we're going to see a not Broadbow, but Borbo. Man, those two always mixes me up. So Borbo is going to be summoned onto the field, and Oscar doesn't obviously have any response. With Dynamite Knight, it's once per turn effect already gone off. He's basically sitting like a spectating player, if you will. Okay, so we're going to see a Broadbow effect. Is he gonna go? Oh no, he's gonna search himself a Rapier. Is he thinking any further? Is there another more optimal choice? Now he's still holding his deck, so as long as he's still holding the deck, the effect hasn't resolved yet because the deck's still face up. So he's changing up the target now. He could potentially go. Oh, he's still thinking about another rat. Both are just rats. Or maybe he could be going into something else. Yeah, no, he's going to go with the rat. Okay, so rat has been searched. I was thinking maybe he would go into perhaps a Lunite Black Sheep, maybe a fusion combo. Now the fusion combo is a lot more dangerous now because of how there are True Kings available, and Lithosagem definitely, or Lithosagem, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to call them Lithosagem since it's kind of caught my tongue by now. Now, if they go with Lithosagem, you do lose your Norden, and losing your Norden does automatically throw 4 dead cards into your deck, so that hurts a lot. Now, with the Draconic Diagram on the field, that Dynamite Knight is getting an additional 300 attack and defense boost, and it can survive a hit by battle from destruction, but most likely it's not going to happen. Oh, okay, we see a Chakinine summon. Chakinine targets the Viper. Now that Viper or Whiptail cannot be... Okay, we get a pop from the Trident, but that Viper cannot be used as a C summon, so we're going to see a 12 onto Oscar, and then we're going to... I have a 16 on the Dryden, and I guess Oscar immediately scoops after that because it was just he was a bit too far behind at that point. So moving on to game 2. Now Oscar is gonna be going first. Man, what a rocky start in the other one. So okay, it does open up with the Terror Top, so we are going to see some Zoodiac monsters in this game, and that other game was a bit cut short, unfortunately. Okay, so we got the Takitomborg. Hey, Oscar did not open with the Takitomborg in hand this time. And now we got a normal summon of a Zoodiac Rapier. I believe he is using the effect to send 1 card into the graveyard? Yes. Where else? Why else would you be fetching through the deck? So throwing a Zoodiac Ram. Now Ram is definitely one of the most important Zoodiacs. Once we got Chakinine into our extra deck, once we gain access to that card, Ram definitely is one of the better targets to pop with a Draconic Diagram, or on your own turn a Trident. It will be able to fetch you an additional monster out of the graveyard. It's a free monster reborn almost. Okay, so he goes into the Borbo. Now Oscar's deck does not run the Fusion Substitute combo, so we won't be expecting that, but he will be reviving that Zoodiac Ram with the Chakinine. And now we go into a Broad Bowl. There we go. Did mix this up this time. And that Broad Bowl will be searching a Zoodiac Whiptail. These players are playing pretty quickly, so I hope I can keep up with them. And that Broad Bowl is going to go into even more stuff. See how long these combos are? Like, the extract is mainly just build these monsters, so we go straight into the Trident now. Now he plays the Draconic Diagram. Diagram will be popping the Zoodiac Ram. And first of all, let's get the True King card first. Remember, you have to resolve things in order. He's going to add the Masterpiece, and he's going to be able to revive that Zoodiac Rapier from the Zoodiac Ram. See what I mean by just free pops everywhere, and he still has an additional pop if he really wants to. Now it goes to the Digesto Emerald, so we still have the Digesto Emerald plus Trident play without the triple rat anymore. And he's going to be putting back 3 cards. And he's cutting up the deck. And Jesse returns the deck. Oscar clearly forgot to make a draw here from his own Digesto Emerald. I hope he does remember in the later run before he even shuffles his deck. Therefore, currently the game state is still repairable, and he does a Tribute Summon. And I'm guessing right now he does notice, so we're going to have an instant replay of this moment of why he is going to be able to repair the game state. So this is what happened, and after Jesse cuts the deck, yes, he did forget to draw. So he will be drawing. There we go. Now the game state is repaired. Thank you for, editing, Tombox. Oh no. I decided to actually cut in that instant replay just so that, we can clear things up. Clear up the matter of where that draw was coming from. So yeah, he missed the Digesto Emerald draw previously, so he was able to correct the game state, and now we can move on to Jesse's turn. Now this board is really scary. We have a Masterpiece on board, Totem Bird, and we have a Zoodiac Trident, so there's at least 2 pops and a negation. In other words, Jesse is basically playing with a 3-card hand. 3 cards of his will not exactly go through, but he did manage to special summon a Terratop, which fetched him a Takitomborg. He could be put into an even more awkward position. Now that Masterpiece tributed, I believe, a monster, so it is a monster immune one, and I don't think he tributed. No, he did. I believe he tributed a heritage as well. So as a spell monster immune masterpiece, he's gonna let the Tenki go through. Letting Tenki go through is not too scary. Sure, Jesse might be able to fetch another monster, but I believe Oscar has enough pops to kind of just bully him into a corner. He can, at any point, he can just say, nope. That's gonna go to the graveyard. It's got an explosive attach. It's gonna go kaboom into the graveyard, so it adds the rat into hand. It's really hard to push through this board. This board is one of those, you're almost playing those wire games where you put a loop through a wire, electrical wire, and then you don't want to light up the light bulb. And okay, there goes the Terratop. Terratop got destroyed by the Trident, and second Terratop got summoned out, and now we have another that Taketom bird that was searched from the first one. One pop left with one Totem Bird. The Masterpiece's pop is definitely a bit more important than the Dryden one, because the Masterpiece one can blow up anything. Okay, we are going to see an overlay probably. Into... It's not going to be a Totem Bird, is it? Totem Bird would be pretty useless against backwards, so we're going to see a MX Saber Invoker. Invoker probably will summon out a monster that is not a Zoodiac Rapier, because Rapier is already in hand. If it doesn't do the right play, so okay, he lets the MX Saber Invoker go through rather than popping out right off the bat. Who knows what's in Jesse's end? If he has that instant fusion, well, he could potentially just go right back off and counterplaying. So the summon is successful. We are seeing a resource burning situation. He's gonna use more resources, and perhaps Oscar will counter later in the line of play. Now, to people running, Zoodiacs, how many Leikas or how many Chakinans do you personally run? Perhaps 2, perhaps 1. Personal recommendation is to run 2. Okay, so now Jesse completes his MX Saber Invoker. We are seeing a Zoodiac Whiptail on the field. Summoned into defense mode, of course, because that's the only mode that MX Saber Invoker is able to summon into. Some people still summon him in attack mode, which is not the right thing to do. Alright, we're going to see a normal summon of the Zoodiac Rapier. Perhaps this can actually go into something else. Rapier's effect is going off. We're going to see a Ramram go to the graveyard. So the most common target to go to the graveyard now is Ramram. Some people still play Combo. Combo is not a bad card. Oh man. It's still a very scary board. You're still short 1 spell trap with the Totem Bird. And with a D barrier in hand, that's a little bit too late. It is a bit unfortunate. And one thing about the True Draco Zoo is that True Draco Zoo can play around a D barrier. If their opponent decides to D barrier, you can just go ahead and summon a Masterpiece, and you'll be pretty good to go. Oh my goodness. We see a Totem Bird getting hit by a Trident right now. Well, Jesse's playing pretty smart here. He's like basically pushing the board as much as he can without forcing Oscar into any sort of activation. This keeps Jesse slightly in control of his own turn. He is playing at the mercy of Oscar's Masterpiece, but with a lot of quick effects he can use to minimize his own damage and try to establish control out of Oscar's grasp. So going straight into the Trident, because if he went to anything else, there's a really high potential that Masterpiece would have popped it. Oscar changes his dimensional barrier. Oh my goodness, that's actually more cards to negate than... Well, basically, Jesse's pretty shut down at this point, because there was the Masterpiece, the Trident, the Totem Bird, and, well, the D-Barrier. So the monsters were going to get shut down, guaranteed. Being a Pure Zoo variant, you're pretty stuck on well, you're pretty stuck on everything that is Xyz related. And shutting out Xyz is going to hurt a lot. So the Zoodiac Barrage has been activated, and Oscar lets it go through. As under the D barrier, there's not a lot of threat. Under D barrier, just remember that if you have D barrier and your opponent decides to go Zoodiac Barrage on you, there's not too much to fear, as they cannot go into their Xyz monster, and that hurts a lot. So he's got to put out a Zoodiac Whiptail. The Whiptail, definitely one of the smarter choices, because Whiptail can use a quick effect to basically reattach. Now that Barrage has been destroyed and sent to the graveyard, so he's going to reattach to the Dryden. So he's going to keep the Dryden alive as much as possible. End phase, the Masterpiece is going to pop the Dryden. Of course, a very, very good move there. This keeps Oscar in control and not going to be as disrupted by Jesse. But what a board. Now, that Masterpiece is basically a sitting wall at this point. So Chucky9 has been summoned on top of the Dryden, as the Dryden has no material. One of the... Oh, wow. A D-Berry has been flipped on Jesse's side. And, well, what is Oscar going to respond with? Right now, he does have the potential to respond with that Totem Burn to basically turn off that D-Barrier. Turning off the D-Barrier could potentially mean Oscar can basically push through this board. Although Jesse's board isn't very strong at all, but he still managed to establish as far as he did. And there goes the Totem Bird, negating that dimensional barrier. And a strike has went down, so 2 back row has been cleared. Oh boy, so Oscar is still under a dimensional barrier. So there's going to be a 1500 damage to Jesse just from paying life points. With that Masterpiece still on board, but then there's not too much that it can actually do right now, except for attack. I believe Oscar's hand does have a Zoodiac Barrage, and if he does pop his own Barrage, it could go pretty far, because the Barrage, being a continuous spell, will automatically enable the Masterpiece to pop a card on the field. And perhaps even put out a Thoroughblade onto the field. So instead, okay, he's going to be, instead of popping Barrage, he's popping his Chucky9. Chucky9 going to the Thoroughblade. No, he decided to keep the Barrage, okay. But with Thoroughblade, you're still doing a lot of damage here. With Masterpiece swinging into... Oh, he's going to pop his own Terraforming. Okay, and then he's going to add a Dynamite Knight. Okay, no. Actually, this might actually end up even better for Oscar, because he can tribute off the Barrage now. And now that still enables the Masterpiece to do his effect. So the Thoroughblade will be attacking the defense mode Viper right now, and these two will swing into the remaining 2 monsters with a 2950 plus a 28. Subtract off the, I believe, one of his own monsters, which is the 16. Wow, that's quite a bit of damage, and the board has been cleared. Jesse is top decking at this point. Yeah, if Jesse needs to activate anything, a trap is gonna pop up on the board, being True King Return, and there's the scoop phase. He's gonna put away all the cards, and we're gonna move on to game 3. So far, if you open well, you are going to win. Just don't brick. Bricking hurts a lot, and the bricking does happen to, well, everyone. And I hate it when I brick with like the one random card that you don't want to open. You know, for people playing Brilliant Fusion, you obviously don't want to open with the vanilla. You guys get the idea. So then we're going to move on to game 3. Game 3, Jesse is going to go first. Which variant is better? Is it true Draco Zoo or is it Pure Zoo? Pure Zoo with Leica, the combo just extends so much further than before. It's like the loss of Rat didn't matter as much thanks to Leica's ability to recover monsters out of the graveyard, being able to special summon them back, and then with our current Dryden we can pop it. That Ram edition is going to be one of the most beneficial cards in the deck, and you know, it's just basically revitalized it after the ban list. Okay, so there is a Ash Blossom Joyous Spring in Jesse's hand. Oh, a Barrage. Ash Blossom, definitely one of the best cards in Maximum Crisis. Hands down, hand trap. Oh, we got a Ghost Ogre on the Barrage. Yes, okay, there's just a little slight procedural error there. Yeah. And then we got a normal summon out Whiptail. Whiptail, not a Ram, not a Rapier, so it's probably just going to go into a search play, perhaps. He does have an Instant Fusion. Man, Instant Fusion is still one of the best cards in the current format. Maybe one day when Norden decides to leave the TCG, that card can finally settle down. Maybe people will actually start playing Theseus. Who knows? Maybe Link format. Link format? No. What are your thoughts on a true Draco Zoo at this moment so far? Do you like the boards that they can establish? Do you think it's a bit unfair do you think the game is actually moving back into that era where we just make a bunch of unbreakable boards? Like, right now the boards are still pretty free, and they don't just float into the next board for free constantly. Okay, so we got a Rod Bowl summon, and he's going to be detaching the Whiptail, and this is going to search out another copy of Whiptail. Overall, he's gonna ramp up his turn. So Ghost Ogre, definitely one of the better hand traps to have right now, since there's so many things that just activate. You don't want to hit that diagram, or sorry, you do want to hit that diagram. You want to hit that Barrage. You want to hit whatever you have available, the monster perhaps. And we got an Instant Fusion going down. Norden summoned onto the field. Don't think we're gonna see a fusion substitute play. Remember, if you do play Instant Fusion first, don't play your fusion substitute. Oh, this is a really good monster. I haven't seen this guy in a very long time. But this monster, the Anti-Luminescent Knight, and we got a Ghost Ash going down. So Karen Gorgon. The reason why Karen Gorgon is actually a very relevant monster right now is because all the True King and True Draco spells and traps, they target. They all have a targeting effect, which can be redirected, and they can be redirected to anywhere on the board, including the player that activated these cards. It's very, very open, and therefore when Karen Gorgon does chain, it does hurt a lot, especially with the spells and stuff. Oh, we're gonna have a crash. Is it a crash or is it just a straight up attack? We're gonna have an attack on... Okay, nope. Dryden says no, so this Terratop is destroyed by Dryden's effect. Now we got a Zoodiac Rapier summoned normally. And strike. Shutting it down. Another 1,500 life points paid by Jesse. This is quite brutal. Oh, man. One of the most difficult things is that there's that Karen Gorgon on the field. And looking at Oscar, there's a terraforming, so he can get a Dragonic Diagram. He does have a... I believe he does have one of the spell traps. And maybe that's a second Terratop. Oh man. So even though he does have you might have thought like, hey, maybe what if he just straight up just popped the his disciples. So he's gonna play the terraforming. So he's gonna play terraforming at the Dragonic Diagram. And you guys might be thinking, hey, why don't I just go into the Dragonic Diagram, pop the disciples of the True Draco Phoenix, and then hit that Solemn Strike? Well, that's the thing. It won't work thanks to Karen Gorgon. When you activate the card in the graveyard, Karen Gorgon's going to activate and chain and retarget the card as Dragonic Diagram. Therefore, you just went for a very, very hard minus. Like, you may be able to fetch like one monster, but you will have no tribute fodder at this point. And Jesse being in control right now, with one card in hand and with a Dryden on board, that Dryden is going to live, and once Dryden lives, he's going to be able to recover more than just one draw for this next turn. He's going to be able to go into a Broad Bull. Broad Bull's going to search Laika or Chucky 9. Chucky 9 is going to be able to fetch more cards back, and it's just going to snowball from that point forward. And, you know, Oscar would be put in a top decking situation. This is a very clear example of why Karen Gorgon is very, very relevant. Why Oscar was basically playing a very restricted set of plays. The pressure is all coming from both the Dryden and the Karen Gorgon. Both players did not exhaust a lot of resources, and we're already seeing so much pressure, I guess. And Oscar's basically played into a corner. He has to wait. He has to get the Takidomborg search, and he failed to get the search in the very first Speedward Terror Top. If he special summons it now, it would be a waste, because the Terror Top is... the effect can only be used once per turn, and it is a hard once per turn where each copy... it's not each copy once per turn, but the name of that monster is once per turn. So he's gonna straight up just pass right now. He's gonna have to try and beat through this board. Jesse, on the other hand, he's got a free turn. He can just push right on through. It's going to be very difficult for Oscar to even recover at this point. The snowballing is going to happen. Jesse's gonna, with a 2-card hand, he's going to try to dominate the board right now. It is his best opportunity too. It's very rare that you get a free turn like this in Yu-Gi-Oh! But since he himself is also low on resources, he can choose to take a different route. No, he's going to go into the Broad Bull. The Broad Bull's going to get that search, and eventually he's probably going to go into a Chuckinan as well. He could go into a Rat. Okay, so he's going to go into Rat summon. Oh, he's going to throw the Ram Ram into the graveyard. Here's the thing, he gets combo right from this play by itself. Because if he goes into a Chucky 9 revives the Ram Ram, and then goes into Dryden Pop It, and he gets another rank 4 Xyz from there. He could even go into a Dagusto Emerald, shovel back in that Dryden that he put away. Lots of plays here. Chucky 9, definitely one of the best additions to the extra deck. Oh, he's going to go into a Borbo. Borbo detached to get the summon. So he used the Borbo summon to basically put the Zoodiac Rapier into the graveyard, so that there perhaps will be something for it to revive. Chucky 9. Chucky 9's effect. Revive the Zoodiac Ram Ram. There are alternative plays that could have been done, such as just revive the Ram Ram, pop it, revive a Dryden, and use Tiger Mortar to basically end your board with double Dryden on the field. That would have been a pretty funny play to do too. Okay, so we got that Rapier coming back, like I said, and then we're going to see another rank 4 overlay. Dagusto Emerald. Dagusto Emerald, gonna do some shuffling. Every day I'm shuffling. Things don't look too good on Oscar's side right now. Because now that there is a Dryden on board, that Dryden is going to threaten his field spell. And once a field spell is not going to be able to go off, it's going to hurt a lot. So we got a targeting of the Dryden, the Broadbow, and the Boardbow going back into the extra deck. And Oscar's going to choose not to shuffle. And he's going to draw one. And oh my god, he drew into a Cosmic Cyclone. So aside from just threatening completely, so there's the 18 at 2450. And attack and attach the Whiptail, so that's another 12. And he's going to set 2 and pass this arrow. So Jesse doesn't have any cards in hand now. But this is going to be really bad. So we're going to have a Terror Top special summon. Effect is going to go through. Dragon obviously interrupted at any moment. The worst part right now is that Cosmic Cyclone is still on board. So special summon out the Tiger Tomborg. Oh boy. This is basically like walking into a trap, but no, we're gonna see an attack straight up from Oscar. He's gonna attack into that Dryden. It's gonna be a crash, except no, he's gonna pop the Terratop. So okay, so that was a forced Terratop pop from by Oscar. Because if he just loses that Dryden for free, it's just not good at all. What he does? Oh, an instant fusion. So this is gonna be 1,000 life. The remaining chunk of Oscar's life, summoning out that Norden. Now, since there is no Dryden pop without that threat, that monster that Norden revives is usually gonna be a bit safer. He's gonna resummon out the Zoodiac Rat, I believe. Yeah, I think it's gonna be the rat. He's gonna need. If there was a Ghost Ash and then you can just Black Rose this board, that would be just lovely. Unfortunately, that's usually not the case. That's not available most of the time, unless you did have that Ghost Ash in the graveyard, Ash Blossom. She is a tuner after all. And perhaps it could come up every now and then. You can even fusion substitute into making that explosion. Are we going to see an overlay? No, he's going to go into a single card overlay. Borbo. Karen Gorgon is one of the scariest monsters. Oh my god, it's getting solemn warning. So 2,000 life points off of Jesse for paying for that warning. And we're gonna see a Draconic Diagram activation, and it's gonna activate the effect to pop the Norden, and it's gonna get Cosmic Cyclone for another 1,000 life points. Oh man. Every out available, and Oscar scoops this one. Jesse just had everything. Really well done, guys. And until next time, I hope you guys like this video. If you guys like these dual commentaries, as always, thank you so much for listening and watching. And yeah, we'll go proceed to the end phase. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please drop us a like so we know we are doing a good job, and you can also subscribe to MST.TV for more fantastic videos by clicking on the button on the left. Don't forget to check out our partners at Imperium Duelist. They make really high quality mats, including some of my own limited edition release stuff. And if you want to check out one of our past videos, click here on the right. As always, don't forget to hold on to your MST.TV, and I'll see you next time.